Hi everyone, I'm Jeanniedibon. Let's get zebra strong. Today we're talking about quiet standing. So what do I mean by that? When we're upright, obviously it takes a lot of muscular effort to hold us upright. Now when you're hypermobile, we're having to work harder than non-hypermobile people because we're having to stabilize even harder. So being upright can be quite a tiring experience for us. Now, let's see if there's a way that we can reduce the amount of muscular effort to hold us upright. That would be the absolute ideal, is that if we can find a way to stand quietly, and by quietly I mean without excess muscular tension. Now typically, certainly from my personal experience and from that with my clients, the quads, which are a big energy drainer muscle, they tend to use overwork quite a lot when we're standing, and maybe the glutes tend to be tensing quite a lot, and then maybe we're not breathing as well as we should, so there's a lot of tension up here as well. So all of that put together is using a lot more energy than you need to when you're upright. So let's have a little go and see if we can try and recognize these sensations of overworking and see if we can sort of turn the dial down. So it's a bit like a thermometer. You could turn it up really high and stand really rigid with lots of tension, or we could start to turn that dial down to release some of that tension, but that doesn't mean you have to collapse and feel sort of saggy in the middle. So there is this very subtle balance in between the two. Okay, so standing up, barefoot ideally, if you're happy to go barefoot. Again, have a chair if you feel you need some help with balance, that's absolutely fine. Again, keep your eyes open. I like to close my eyes, but if that makes you nervous or you feel unstable, obviously keep your eyes open. Okay, so I want you to, in this standing posture, just make sure your knees are slightly soft so we're not in our hyperextension. And I want you to pay attention to your feet. And I just want you to notice whether you think you are evenly balanced between your left and your right foot. So oftentimes we kind of lean, and with a lot of hypermobility, I'll just mention this now, is we tend to, I certainly did it, we kind of stand like this. So we hang off one hip joint and the other leg is bent. Because it feels comfortable, right, to just hang out like this. I used to wrap my leg around the other one as well. But not very useful, not very functional. I'm putting a lot of strain through this hip, through this knee. I'm locking this ankle joint. It's really not a great position to be in. So I highly, highly encourage you, especially if we're trying to do this quiet standing, to find balance between the left and the right side of your body. Okay, that way everything is in its proper place and already muscles aren't overworking, because you can imagine if I'm like this, I'm actually overworking, even though it feels comfortable, or it used to. I don't like it now, but it used to be my hangout. But now this feels so much more comfortable to me, and I would never dream of doing this now because it just feels so odd. So again, let's go back to it. Close our eyes if you're happy to, and just pay attention. So if you are someone like me who used to hang off their hips, this might feel really odd. So don't worry if you're experiencing a new sensation. That's actually a good thing. That means your nervous system is paying attention to something that's going on, which is what we want. We want to improve that awareness. So again, no right or wrong. So if you think, actually, I have got sort of 60% of my weight on my left leg, don't worry about it, just notice it at the moment. Okay, so just notice. Now, is there anything you could do without causing pain to make that 50-50? So could you kind of shift your body weight around a little bit so that you do have 50% on each foot? Now, the other thing that's important is the front and the back of the body. So I might be 50-50 in my left and my right, but what if I'm someone who hangs forward? And I'll just go sideways so you can see what that consequence is. Another hanging little posture that we like to do with hypermobility is to hang off the front of the hips. So I put more weight through the balls of my feet. My heels don't have a lot of weight, but I can hang out here. But again, quite stressful, doing a lot more work than I need to. So ideally we want equal weight through the front of the foot and the back of the foot. So again, if you're someone who hangs out here, bringing your pelvis back over your feet and starting to have weight in the heels and the balls of the feet could be, again, a bit weird, feels a bit odd, but don't worry about it. Remember, that's a good thing. If you tell me things feel weird, I'm going to say that's really good. So don't worry about it. So I've got front and back, and I've got left and right. I'm in a much better position now to start my quiet standing. So all of that was an exercise in itself. Once you've established that, make sure your toes are free and you're not sort of gripping your toes, which can happen because you're trying to use your toes as a stabilizer. Try and relax your toes and let the foot really open out into the ground. Make sure those knees are soft. And then you're just going to close your eyes or keep them open, whatever feels right for you. And just take a breath. And now remember I said that the quads and the glutes and the shoulders can be a sort of an area of tension. Can you just let everything sort of be quiet for a moment? So if you're a grippy person around the front of the hips, could you invite the skin around your thigh bones to soften? So what does that mean to your body? What does that mean to your nervous system if we invite your skin to soften? And you might be thinking that doesn't mean anything to me right now, and that's okay. I'm just making a suggestion to your nervous system that it could soften a little bit. Now, when you soften around the thighs and around the pelvis, you're going to start to put more weight down into your feet. So can you notice that when I let go of the gripping, less tension in my legs, my feet have to take in a little bit more of the weight, which is a good thing. That's what they're designed to do. And again, just notice if your shoulders feel quite heavy, or are they still trying to hang on and be quite tense. And then I invite you to just stay here. And again, it's going to fluctuate, okay? You're going to tense up and then you're going to let go again. It's not something that's fixed. You can't fix a posture. Your body is constantly changing with your breath. So don't think that you're here and rigid and it has to be like this. It has to be a soft, it's going to evolve, it's going to morph into different things. But you're present and you're experiencing that, and that's what we're asking of the system. Okay, so obviously you can play with this. You can stay here for a couple of minutes. You might build up and, enjoy being here and enjoy these sensations and start to build it into your everyday life. So quiet standing, it's a really powerful tool to have. Even though it feels like you're doing nothing, you're actually doing an awful lot of good for your nervous system. So I hope that made sense. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you again soon. So until next time, keep zebra strong.